I wrote a solo show called Brassy and Intrepid, and it's all about how shy I am as a person. And so I'm going to do a little excerpt of it for you tonight, and this set is called The Feminist Collective. I think you can relate. Naked from the waist down, Jane, Lisa, and I lay on the floor of the Feminist Collective. All the tools that we needed for our journey were next to us on the Persian rug. Plastic speculums that we'd gotten from the Women's Health Center, mirrors and flashlights. I know. We closed the blinds and locked the doors and prepared to see our cervixes. So you mean I have to stick this plastic thing inside of me and open it until it clicks? I mean, isn't that gonna hurt? Oh my God, not as much as a baby pushing itself through your dilated cervix, Jane moans. We know all the lingo because our dog-eared copy of our bodies, ourselves, has been our self-required reading for the last few months. Because you see, Jane and Lisa and I are on a mission to become liberated by the time that we graduate from Beloit College. So I figure, like, before I get liberated, I have to know my body, myself, so here I go. Speculum in. Okay, got the mirror, and the flashlight is on. I look in the mirror and I crane my neck, trying to look inside of my womanhood. It's dark and red. I feel weird. I take the thing out, I put my pants back on, and I go in the kitchen. It's the 1980s, the era of second wave feminism and the sexual revolution. Women all around us are redefining what it means to be a wife and a mom and a worker and a game changer. I personally have no role models for my personal radical revolution. My mom married super young, had 2 kids, and basically just wanted to be a housewife. She never had a bank account in her own name, and I basically just don't, want her life. So Jane and Lisa, come in the kitchen and they join me now. They're dressed, by the way. We're not naked anymore. And then Jane goes, hey, so your trip to Minneapolis, didn't you go to this modern dance convention? And she's drinking tea out of this Fight the Power mug. And I go, oh yeah, my God. So I went to Minneapolis and I went to this modern dance thing, yes. And my teacher's name was Linda, and Linda was so cool. Okay, so Linda basically lives in a room in the back of a factory, and she has to share a toilet with all these factory workers, and she cooks on a hot plate, and she choreographs these dances that are really political, and she performs them out in parks because she can't afford to be in a theater anywhere. And I idolize Linda. I just want to be Linda. And so I'm it was just amazing. And then my friend Lisa's so is Linda also a pagan witch? And I'm of course. Because who isn't, right? I know. The Feminist Collective at Beloit College, the place where my unraveling began. The place where I shaved my head and spent a lot of time in my room upstairs drinking vodka and orange juice by myself and listening to the Smiths as loud as humanly possible. And the place where I basically deconstructed everything that I'd learned for the first 18 years of my life. So that's what I want to do, okay? Get a cheap apartment somewhere and work these really interesting gigs and just live completely off the grid, okay? Having these conversations is what we do most of the time at the Feminist Collective. That and throwing pillows at the TV when commercials like this come on. A young mom is carrying paper towels, and she's following her toddler around the house, and she has this really crazy smile on, and then she's just waiting for him to spill something so that she can bend down and clean it up. And the whole time she's smiling as if her entire purpose in life is to just help him. We pinky swear and vow to never become suburban housewives. So we read and read and read. We read Erica Jong, Fear of Flying, and we read Betty Friedan, The Feminine Mystique. We're deconstructing paradigms on a regular basis. It's fantastic. Let the angry, passionate, wet, and sometimes dangerous games begin. We are Amazon goddesses, rabble-rousers, makers of the future. And then there's men. I know. So dealing with men is, kind of like preparing for battle. Birth control, check. Mace, check. Rape whistle, check. Knowing the difference between VD and gonorrhea and chlamydia, check, check, check. But I mean, it's okay because most guys are really not brave enough to approach me. I mean, with my breasts and my hips and my waist, my sexual vibe is kind of intense because I wear these black leather pants and camouflage gear on top, and then I have a mohawk that I keep sticking straight up with egg whites on a regular basis. It was very cool. But some guys are cool, like there's this one man, Mike Stock, in my welding class, okay? So we're in class and then the teacher goes, all right everybody, we're gonna learn how to weld, but the women aren't gonna be able to do it because it's gas welding and most of you are afraid of the fire. And then Mike goes, nah, Victoria, she's not afraid of anything. Mike and I start to date. I decide to build this somewhat violent love nest in my second floor bedroom at the Feminist Collective. So I take my mattress off of the frame and I put it on the floor, sort of early futon. And then it's the 80s, right? And then I take the frame and I lean it up against the wall. And then I take this Indian fabric and I somehow tie it to the top of the frame and then drape it all the way down across the mattress so that inside of here there's this triangle for exploration. Mike is a pretty good sport, except for the fact that sometimes in moments of passion the frame can and does come crashing down on both of us. Surprisingly, he breaks up with me soon after this. But it's okay because I'm a badass. So I drive my blue Buick Skylark way out into the countryside at 80 miles an hour in Wisconsin. And I'm working at IHOP third shift, bending off passes of drunks and long haul truck drivers. But it's cool because I'm saving my money to put down my first apartment after I graduate and move to Chicago. And in my free time when I'm not at IHOP and I'm not in class, I'm writing songs and choreographing dances and making art about the oppressed, aka myself. And I'm looking forward to the future with a little bit of fear, but mostly excitement. I am Victoria Reeves. Thank you very much.